Joined by Coach Zwane, Kaizer Chiefs 2, Swallows 2. Coach, give us the impressions of what you saw in 90 minutes.
Yeah, thanks, Bravi. Look, we came into the game knowing very well that it's not going to be an easy one. We were playing against Wounded Tigers. We were playing against a team that wanted to avoid relegation at all costs. And we knew that they will come out, guns blazing. And you could see, I think, to be fair, they created more chances, goal scoring opportunities than us. And I think in the first half, Bruce kept us in the game, made quite a few saves. And it's always been the case, where we play in patches, we don't show commitment here and there. I think first 15 minutes to 20 minutes, we were in control of the game. It looked like we scored 2-3 goals. But I think after scoring our first goal, first half, I think we took the foot off the pedal. And immediately Swallows, they were in control of the game. They created chances there at one stage, about 5 corners, It was a worrying fact, obviously. At one stage, while watching the game, was thinking, saying, maybe we scored too early. And from that moment you could see that at any given time Swallows could score a goal. But because our midfield was not functioning, we were not winning the second balls. We had a lot of fear in playing. All of a sudden, we're kicking the ball forward, we're giving the ball to them, and that's not what we did at training in terms of preparations. And we went to halftime. In the dressing room, I told players, let's think about going forward. Let's avoid playing back passes unnecessarily. And the first mistake that we made that led to the penalty, the first penalty, was a back pass from a midfielder to their striker. So we can talk about a lot of things in football, but sometimes you ask yourself a question as a player, that if we conceding goals like we've been conceding goals as Kaizer Chiefs, because if you can look at goals that we've conceded from Royal AM and Cape Town City, let alone that sometimes we just give manners from heaven, but I'm talking about goals that we pass the opposition to go and score. And it tells you as to whether is the learning take place, or do we take the game for granted? And it's one of those things. And as I've alluded in the past, there has to be changes to get things right. And we went into second half. Then second half we did well. I think just after we come alive, actually, when we got a red card, when Nange went out, and we started playing with a lot of energy and agency, and you could see that though we did not create clear-cut chances or goal-scoring opportunities, but at least we were a little bit on the ball. And Jabulo gave us that extra energy in the middle, of which it's what we expected from Bakas and Nange first half. And Jabulo, once he was on the ball, and then we were in control of the game. And we brought in Mshini. We knew Mshini was not 100% fit for this game, but we needed to take the game to them because Bennett was also now tired. So I think that was a good thing that he scored a goal just before he went out. And we look like now we can create goal scoring opportunities, but it was not enough for us. But overall performance poor. I believe we could have done better. We were lucky actually to to get a draw in this game. Swallows, they should have easily scored 4 or 5 goals in this game today. They were just unfortunate. First half and second half, Bruce kept us in the game.
Coach Zwane, that's the impressions of 90 minutes. Thank you. We're going to go to the members of the media and write to your name of your publication and the question, and the coach will do the answering. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Coach. Kaizer from Supersport. Coach, I think let's be quite honest. You are a proper legend of this football club. You played for this club, I think, for 9.5 seasons, I'd say. 193 appearances, if I'm not mistaken. You've won league titles, you've won cup titles. For you to see what is happening now at this club, not winning any single trophy in 8 years, that is embarrassing, the coach, to be quite honest. But for you being the leader of this club at this moment in time, what is going through your mind? What does Kaizer Chiefs need to do to get to where they were previously? Thank you.
Thanks, Karabo. I think it's there for everyone to see. I can say things that people might see differently, and people think maybe I think I know too much, or I think I'm too harsh, on players. But the reality is, we know that we didn't have good enough players to play for this club. We had players, yes, that could play for this club, but not good enough. Because we can't keep repeating same mistakes. As I've said earlier on, that are we improving? It kills the coaches, as if coaches are not preparing players. And you look at the goals that we've been conceding, let alone that we are not creating goal-scoring opportunities. You look at today, we were too flat. Like I said, after scoring a goal, then it's like we said, no, we don't want to play anymore. It's fine. We're good with the 1-0 lead. We didn't want to go forward. We didn't want to run. We were tired. So I don't know where from what, because we had at least the full week to prepare and also recharge our batteries and be ready for this game. So those are the things that obviously talk to us as a club as to going forward, who should be part of the team and who should not be part of the team. And we want to be realistic with that. I think we've been nursing some of the players' feelings for far too long now, so things have to change.
Thank you very much, Coach. I see 1, 2, 3 hands. I will move fast with the first one.
Venda from SABC. Coach, you talk about the challenges that you've been going through, especially in terms of conceding goals. You allude to the midfield, and I think maybe since Katsande left, Chiefs has not had a hard defensive midfielder, number 6, and also for the brand of football that you are playing, are you getting players who are compatible to that game? Because and also it's another thing to have the players, but for a team of Kaizer Chiefs stature, you need players who are going to play that brand of football and also be competitive, which goes back to the issues talking about of results.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Brave. I think talking about Katsande, I think Katsande came, did very well for the club, and the time came when he had to, leave, and he left a legacy behind. His contribution was second to none, and we had to move on as a club, So, yeah, in modern game, I think your number 6 should be more like your playmaker, more than a fighter. That is why you could see the difference today. Just a little bit of difference when we moved Njabulo, in the middle. We were one man down, and we pushed Swallows, to defend with all the players, and even when it was 2-2, we could still, maybe get one from counter attack. And I'm not a coach that believes in break attacks or counter attack or transition game. I believe that when we score a goal, you should see when we build up from the back that the goal is coming. And not because of me, but that's how Kaizer Chiefs is supposed to play, because Kaizer Chiefs is a big team. So your number 6 should be a playmaker. Your two central defenders, they should be able to connect, with your number 8 or with your number 10s, not just kicking the ball forward. So that's why I was worried first half that we're just kicking the ball forward, and that's not what we did at training. And I kept on reminding Bruce, why kicking the ball forward? And that's why I'm saying if no one is looking for the ball, now Bruce is left with only one option, just to kick the ball forward, just to play safe. But if there's a player that played well today, this is Njabulo Ngcobo. He played very well. I thought he was gonna get man of the match. I think he did a lot of hard work, and the balls that were coming from the side that he blocked, that were dangerous. So, and even when we were building up, he also played a part. And you could see when we had a balance of play now with Dube as well, who played a lot of good balls into Kama, but still, because now we're one man down, we didn't have the player that could join, so that Kama, when he receives the ball, he's already there supporting. Now we're facing, and we have runners that now can force Swallows defense to defend too deep, or maybe operate the pockets. So we couldn't do that quite often. And yes, we had to come up with the team that we started with, because of, when you look at a player like Happy hasn't been playing, I think we were asking for too much from him today, and he tried his level best, but he didn't give us what we expected of. And the good thing with today's game is that we gave a lot of youngsters the opportunity. Like we said, that since others were not available for selection because of obvious reasons, but those who were given the opportunity, I think most of them executed themselves very well.
Thank you, Coach. The last 2 questions, we'll take Lawrence.
Coach, Jabulo Blom usually is obviously become permanent fixtures in the first team of the come from the academy system. Realistically, going forward, how many of these DDC players can contribute effectively to Kaizer Chiefs next season already, like your Duzi Shabalalas, your Sifamas, and was this Captain Bernard Parker's last game for the club? Thank you.
Thanks, Big Man, for the question. Look, if you can look back, when most of these players were promoted, maybe first 3 months, these boys did very well. Majority of them. If you can check, I can go back to when we promoted Wiseman Meyiwa, his first game, he scored. Sia, Ngezana, he scored. But let alone that he scored, but he also performed very well. So that means we were doing something right. Njabulo Blom, same thing. When he was given his first game, did very well. For 3 months, he was like on top of his game. Then it's something that we still need to sit down and look at ourselves. What is wrong? Why these boys, when they get to the first team, they do well for a certain moment, and then all of a sudden they drop? It's either we're not doing the right things in the first team, or we're not doing the right things in the development. But for the fact that when they get to the first team, they perform better. So that means maybe the reason could be the first team players were also not pushing these boys enough, to get to the level where we want them. And that is why when you look at them right now, they look flat. And it's a fact, but it is also a challenge, to the team, that we need to look at ourselves as to how we should maybe rope them in. You look at him to do like today, a lot of energy in him, and he's a future, prospect. For me, he's gonna be one of the deadliest player, as soon as he's settled. But he settles. So we have to guide them properly. I don't think we've done that proper, the way we should have be doing it as a club to help them, these boys to settle. But also bringing these boys when the club is not doing well, like Brave said that for the past 7 to 8 years we haven't been winning, or Karabo, said in his question that we haven't been winning, which is the truth, and you can't run away from it. And when I was playing, if I remember vividly when players were promoted to the first team, they were promoted to a started squad and committed players, and we're also not begging anyone to play for this team. Whether you're a youngster or a new player, would lead by example, will tell you that this is how things are done here. And I think this is what have been missing in the Kaizer Chiefs squad, leadership. And which is something that we need to change when it comes to our culture, because our culture talks to a lot of things. Our culture talks to humility, our culture talks to winning culture, our culture talks to how you respect yourself and other people, before you can think of making it big here at Kaizer Chiefs. So you have to keep your feet on the ground, So yeah, what I've seen ever since I've been part of, first team, I think we've lost that, and which is something that we need to, bring it back with immediate effect, if we are to change things for the better, for Kaizer Chiefs to start winning, cups and challenging for honors. Yeah, look, the team is still gonna sit down. When it comes to Bennett, they're still gonna sit down like any other player. It's not only Bennett; all the players now, part and parcel of the team, will obviously sit down and discuss as to who should keep, who should be released. But even me, I don't know whether I'm gonna be part of the team next season. So, but obviously I've been part of the finisher. So I believe that positive about everything. Because it's not about Zwane. It has never been about Zwane or other people or coaches, that have come and gone. But it's always been about Kaizer Chiefs. So I put the team first. That's why when I talk now, I represent the club, and I talk like, one of the members of the club, representing the team here.
Is Coach Muto, you giving the last shot of the season?
Thank you. Coach, just two quick ones. The first one, in terms of positions, if you were to make recommendations, what positions do you feel the club needs to strengthen ahead of next season? And then the second one, you've done very well to diagnose the challenges that the club faces. Do you feel the club has the right kind of structure in terms of, for instance, if you're going to scout for players, you need to have a very strong scouting network. Do you feel that's also an area that the club needs to look at? Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Bramto. Look, Bramto, it's a case of introspection. When you look at the game, where the game is today, it's a club of Kaizer Chiefs caliber. It talks to us as to the people that we brought here in the past, players, in terms of playing personnel, in terms of the coaches as well, as to whether they understood how in terms of the pressure and the way they should have done things to help the team. So right now I'm in the thick of things, and I can see why we have all these challenges, because as a club, there is no way that everyone that comes in has got his own way of doing things. There should be a way of Kaizer Chiefs. Whoever that comes in must just do the way Kaizer Chiefs does things. It's as simple as that, And all the teams, you go to all the teams in the world, if you can read the book of Carlo Ancelotti, you'll hear him say, he goes to the club. There's a culture in the club, wherever that he goes. And he doesn't tell the club to buy who and not. He tells the club that I'm the coach, I'm a quality coach, I am coming to work with you. Those players are your players. You are the ones that are paying those players. So as a coach, I must make sure that in the team structure, I get the best out of these players. Otherwise, if the club is going to be like buying every players for coaches, then there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem because everyone comes, he doesn't get it right, he leaves, you are paying a lot of money to those players, another coach comes in, does the same thing. Then you lose everything. You lose your structure, you lose your identity. Then, do you understand what I'm saying? So when you look at all the teams in the world that are doing well right now, there is continuity. There is a policy. There are pillars in place. So that's what we're trying to do right now. That there will be no more people that will come here at Kaizer Chiefs and do as they please. There's a structure that needs to be followed, and there's policy that needs to be respected. So coming to the players that will have to come in, yes, that will have to come in and join the club. It's going to be the biggest challenge, for us to get everyone that we need as a club, my belief right now. Because when you look at the left backs, when you look at the central defenders, central defender, when you look at strikers that are available, how many strikers that we have in the country right now that have scored more than Peter Shalulile? Can you get Peter Shalulile from Sundowns? No. You understand what I'm saying? So there's only one player that is trying, and maybe it's Evanga. But is Evanga a Kaizer Chiefs, type of a player that we're looking for? It remains to be seen. Is Victor Lutswalo a type of a player that can play for Kaizer Chiefs? The answer is yes. But can we get him? You understand what I'm saying? So those are the challenges, that you are faced with, and it's the reality, And the midfielders, like Brave was asking me about the number 6 and how many quality number 6 sixes in the country that can come and play for Kaizer Chiefs. So we're going to have to develop them. Because the way we want to play, we don't want a number 6 that will go out there and get yellow cards and red cards. We want a ball player because we want to build from the back, we want to play with flair, we want to dominate, we want to...
You can continue.
Yeah, I can continue.
Coach.
Yeah.
Closing remarks, Coach?
Yeah. We want to dominate, we want to play with flair, we want our people to come to stadium and watch football, not Makitas Began, That's not the Kaizer Chiefs that brought me here, 22 years ago to come and play Makitas